Oh, fuck.
We started recording.
Got you.
Okay, so thanks everyone for bearing with us that little 5-minute delay.
I do apologize.
But welcome, Tobias.
Yes.
This is Blab.im, a wonderful platform that we're using. And this is officially the Forward Ever Empower Hour. And it's called Locally Speaking. And we are speaking today with Tobias Fox, the founder and managing director of Newark SAS. So with that, I'm so glad to have you here. Thank you for making this a part of your day.
Yes.
I want to just jump right in because we only have an hour. And I'm going to start off by just giving general rules of how Blab works. We do have, Blab is a video conferencing platform, obviously, that allows us to speak with, host this Empower Hour. It also allows us to have an open seat, and I can release that seat and allow any of you who want to jump in and be a part of the conversation to jump right on in, and you would also be seen as well. So feel free if you want to participate in the conversation as we move forward. Feel free to ask to come in, and I'll open the seat. So here are the rules of engagement. We're going to start the conversation. Excuse me. Our social media guru, Michelle, is on the line as well. She is going to be posting all of Tobias's links that will allow you to connect with him online across social media, via Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, of course, and so you can stay connected with him. We will also be, of course, posting our own, and we were going to ask you all to participate today and tweet today. Michelle, if you could put up the handle, it is, if I can recall, because I need her to put it up, but it is ForwardEverNJ Empower Hour, just HR. So it's ForwardEverNJ Empower HR. That's the handle to participate and to tweet about today if you have anything exciting, any aha moments, etc. And we are in a shared we're in a co-working space. So you see our neighbor walking back and forth from Rising Tide Capital. So this is one big, wonderful, happy working space where we're here dedicated to entrepreneurs and entrepreneurial development and sustainability. So just jump right in. Tobias.
Yes.
I'd like to know if you can start us off telling us about your journey. How did you go from Tobias Fox, the young person, the young man, all the way up to creating? What was the impetus for you to start Newark SAS?
Okay, well, I'll try to see if I can put it into a summary, if I can. But so I was born in Newark, grew up in East Orange, lived in Irvington. So Newark, Irvington, and East Orange has been the circle of my life. And I say about age 6, my brothers and I, 4 of us at the time, our parents gone through a violent breakup, and that led to my brothers and I becoming divorced. And luckily, my father had 7 other siblings. Oldest sister and her beloved husband decided to take us on into their house in East Orange, a 3-story house at the time. And that was great. The only thing about that experience was that they were already raising 10 children of their own. So I grew up in a household of 16 in East Orange, and I experienced every issue related to poverty you can imagine. From going to bed, many nights without food, coming home to no electrical power, no drinking water, being picked on for not having fashionable clothes. So that experience, that childhood experience going into my teen years kind of led me into choosing writing as my art form. So writing poetry and stories, and then I started developing that craft. I went to college And my educational background really is English, filmmaking, creative writing, and book publishing. And then later on became master.
Tobias, back up a little bit from the camera. We got a little bit of interference, just a little bit.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So, so as I stated before, my educational background involves in English, creative writing, book publishing, and filmmaking. And it wasn't until October 2011 that I've caught wind of the Occupy movement that was taking place in New York. And
Occupy Wall Street movement?
Occupy Wall Street movement, that's correct.
Oh, okay. When was that? 2011, huh?
Yeah, that was 2011. So
that's 5 years ago. Okay.
I visited the event that they had there in New York on Zuccotti Park. I visited in October of 2011. And at that time, I was heavily involved in about 10 years into and it was the publishing business that I had at the time was going through some serious financial difficulties. And so I had the leisure time to go and see what was going on. I got tired of hearing the national media and the local media bring down the movement. So I wanted to see from my own eyes what was going on. And when I went there, it was an epiphany. I was blown away, completely blown away.
Back up a little bit more, just because it's, yeah. So you were blown away at the movement and just how it was organized organically?
Yeah, so in a matter of 2 weeks, these local organizers, it was a small group of them, had managed to establish the social systems needed for a human society to exist. And they had a people's kitchen. If you was a vegan or vegetarian, you'll go on that side, on one side of the kitchen, all others on another side of the kitchen. And they were feeding people full square meals. Wow. They had a media station where they were constantly plugged into social media. They had a medic station, a people's library, a comfort station. They had a drum circle that was going on throughout the day. I was just completely taken away by it, And then I learned about another group of people that were meeting away from this encampment, and they appreciated the symbolism of occupying public space, but they were organizing in smaller groups around certain social issues. And then
right.
So I got drawn into that style of organizing. I got involved they started meeting.
Now I'm having a lot of interference for some reason. I don't know why.
I hear a lot of noise in your background, not in mine.
Okay.
Here, So it could be feedback bouncing from your end, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, hold one moment for me, okay?
Yep.
Okay, so as far as your
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no problem at all. But yeah, so during the process of me being involved in the whole Occupy movement, from Occupy Wall Street to Occupy Newark, I started meeting and interacting with a lot of urban farmers, rural farmers, people who were into solar technology. They were
so why did you? I mean, because the Occupy movement was really not necessarily about farming, but
they were dealing with a wide range of social issues, and
that's the one that resonated most with you.
That was these were the ones that mostly resonated with me.
Okay.
So much so that I decided to organize a working group within Occupy Newark, which was at the time Occupy Newark Science and Sustainability Working Group. So
okay.
The Newark Science and Sustainability actually really grew out of the social movement that was going on at the time, and then when the whole occupation and the encampments kind of got dissolved, someone suggested that I take it a step further and develop this working group into a nonprofit organization. So Rutgers Newark Law Clinic and they took me on as one of their clients to help me develop Newark Science Sustainability into 501c3 nonprofit organization.
So let me just stop you for a moment. So what I'm hearing right now, what's resonating with me is that if there is a cause and or a movement that resonates within any individual, it doesn't. I think a lot of us say somebody should do something because they hear of something or they experience something, and I'm not trying to shame anyone. I'm bringing this up to take sort of a feather out your cap, if you will, to say that it doesn't have to be this big thing that happens where someone, if you will, of some stature, of some title, decides to start something and create, change. I think it can be organically done by you, meaning any individual that has a passion for a cause of any purpose, and that they can just start it out by just saying, why don't we all connect at a place, and then we'll take it from there one step at a time. Doesn't have to be all figured out, and that we should allow things to grow organically, and then subsequently they can have a chance to grow in a more formal fashion.
Well, I agree with you 100% because when this was a working group within Occupy Newark, that was the whole thing. We just were organizing kind of like sustainable events. So we would organize a field trip to a organic farm, and then we organized a free solar technology workshop, and then we heard about Newark's the city of Newark's Adopt a Lot program, and we got into their adopted a vacant lot, transformed that vacant lot into a community garden, and that's when. So we just started doing these community events out of just having a passion for sustainability and the environment and things of that nature. And then that's how it started to develop into a nonprofit that way.
Okay, so also too, because I always, my whole, since we entitled this the Empower Hour, I want to ensure people that this is about empowering yourself and gaining, sort of allowing us to be the catalyst for that empowerment. So I'm saying this all to say, I hear in my mind, I'm thinking, well, how did you meet all these people? How did you know where to go? Tell me a little bit walk me through how someone in their own community, depending upon whatever the issues are, might get in contact with people that can help them move their cause forward.
Yeah. So one of my philosophies is, think global, act local, act local, right? So
that's right.
Yeah. So, so I may not know how to cure or solve the issue of world hunger, but I can start a community garden in my neighborhood that gives access to locally grown food in that particular neighborhood.
Right.
Yeah. So these are small steps that I can take, and that can have a tremendous impact on others around me. So I would say that you always, think of the bigger picture, but also what small steps can I take that can lead to some of these big victories that I want to come.
Absolutely. So, okay. So I want to also say that Tobias is a great member of ForwardEverNJ. And for those of you that don't know who we are the first urban affiliate of the Business Alliance of Local Living Economies. And that we're affectionately known as BALI, like the country. It's pronounced B-A-L-I, but it's B-A-L-L-E. And that is the acronym for the Business Alliance of Local Living Economies. Our charge here is to create a sustainable economy, and we are the only BALI affiliate in the state of New Jersey. And we do that. Our charge is to create an equitable revitalization here in Newark, create opportunities for people to be educated about the resources they need, whether they be technical assistance classes or getting in contact with people like Tobias, but raising the visibility of our members so that they can have more people that are I should say more people that are in the know about the causes that they represent. So we want to raise the visibility of the local independently owned entrepreneurs in our community, in and around our community. And our ultimate goal is to create a buy local campaign and a shift in spending so that we keep money in our community. And how we do that is by highlighting people like Tobias, highlighting entities, other member businesses that are in our community, and we're going to be having different networking events and all these kinds of things. And we've done this over the last 3 years. And so this is our new platform to introduce you to some of our members. And so I just wanted to say that we want you to connect with us under the hashtag and tweet today under the hashtag of ForwardEverNJ Empower Hour, and that's HR. Not the whole word hour, Empower HR, and tweet. You can also ask questions, and you can type the questions in, or if you want to join in, you can join in and ask either myself or Tobias a question. So I want to talk a little bit about, Tobias, the conference. You have a couple things we're going to be talking about. We have a great conference that's coming up called Branching Communities Together. That's in April. Tobias's organization, SAS, this is their annual conference. This is going to be our second year, or actually our third year participating in the conference, and second year co-sponsoring or helping to sponsor part of the conference. And then we have the conference that he attended this past weekend at Columbia University, and that was called the Just Food Conference. Yeah. Talk a little bit about that conference to me before we get into your conference, what that's going to be about, and how people can get plugged in. And we're at 11:23, so I just want to stay, in tune with our time, and give people at the end some time to jump in if they have questions. Okay.
Yep. So this past Sunday, I went to the Just Food conference. I want to thank you, Karen, for whatever the sponsorship for allowing me to actually attend. So thank you for that.
Very welcome.
But it was my first time there. I had no expectations. I didn't know what to expect when I got there. So I went really with an open mind, and I was really impressed with they had a packed house. It was a packed house, and it was a very diverse crowd. It was a lot of workshops for people to attend. But my only challenge was that they had it in a building where the workshops were in separate classrooms. So they would have like 10 workshops during the morning, but you can only attend one. And
right, concurrently running.
Yeah, they had it all at the same time. You can only attend one. So you can only interact with people for the most part in passing as they were going from, workshop to workshop.
So what was the overall concept of the conference and your takeaway from any particular workshop that you attended? What was their theme?
Yeah, well, the theme was really just tying in food, the whole concept of food. So, from growing food to food as a social act, food as tied into our, political system, our economic system. And so I enjoyed the conference overall. I mean, I went and participated in a workshop geared towards helping to build a volunteer base, maintaining those volunteers, and strengthening your volunteer program. So I gained a lot of information from that, and I was able to have kind of like a social session, if you will, during my lunch hour with a group of people about some of the different talks. Now, my thing with these conferences geared towards the discussion of food or urban agriculture is that they tend to leave out or separate for some reason the technology that has been developed to enhance agriculture production, such as aquaponics, hydroponics, aeroponics. Those talks need to be added within talks of urban agriculture, the process of producing food, because
and workforce development.
And workforce development as well. Yeah, because when you look at an urban setting like cities like Newark or Manhattan or any of the boroughs, for the most part, you can't simply rely on outdoor agriculture to create enough yield that can generate a local green economy. You have to also incorporate the use of technology where food can also be grown indoors, soilless. So these technologies such as aeroponics, aquaponics, hydroponics aren't meant to, from our perspective, replace outdoor agriculture, but to complement,
enhance,
and allow it to extend throughout the entire year. Yeah.
Absolutely. So, we talked a little bit about that last week, right? So that's a great segue into SAS, like your mission and your vision and your purpose, and what are you working on specifically at Newark SAS? So tell me a little bit about the breakdown of Newark SAS and what your focus will be, what your focus is, and what your focus is going to be with the conference coming up on April 23rd. And we want everyone to that is able to come out, sign up, and plan to attend.
Right. So Newark SAS, Newark Science and Sustainability, we advocate for the incorporation of science into the fabric of our social life. So we're not just an advocacy group. We like to put theory into practice through the use of visual education and hands-on training. So we develop programs around, urban agriculture, clean renewable energy, specifically with solar, wind, pedal bike technology, also battery packs. We also develop programs around eco art, which is transforming recycled and natural materials into art. And then we have a wellness and nutrition education program. And a lot of these programs we partner up with really like local professionals who have kind of like mastery level in these particular fields. And being a master gardener, I usually lead the urban agriculture projects. But and our mission really is to try to come up with ways of how we can collectively work on a local level to build and create more healthier and more sustainable communities. And that ties in with the purpose of our yearly conference. It's always free and open to the general public. So it's a way of demonstrating true collaboration where different local professionals and grassroots organizations come together with one accord, one agenda, and that's really just to kind of like bring some information to the community, additional information to the community, and by doing that, a sense of empowerment, and also getting people to identify certain issues and create tangible solutions within the time span that we're giving during this conference. So
I'm looking here at the and then Michelle is posting where it's located. She's posting the links so you can know where how to get in contact with so you can be aware of Tobias's website, and it's called Branching Communities Together, the 4th Annual Sustainable Living Empowerment Conference. So you can see why we obviously have collaborated and why we do collaborate, because we have a similar mission and goal and purpose, and that is to ensure that we all are leveraging our constituencies and ensuring that our individual visions and missions can be, basically it can explode and can expand beyond our individual reach. So we leverage our reaches and our individual reach. And with Bali, we have 90 some odd networks and all over North America, and we have assets and toolkits and webinars that we can extend to people that are participating in the Blab and across North America. Pretty much anyone who is interested in becoming more involved in a sustainable local living economy can participate in both our movements. And so we have people in this particular conference that Tobias is putting together. We have, like we already said, ourselves, we're participating obviously as a sponsor, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, St. Peter's University, where the conference is being held, is a wonderful sponsor to Tobias. They are offering the space, I believe, pro bono.
Yep, that's true.
We have the Family Partners of Hudson County, New Jersey Sisterhood, United Healthcare, Community Plan, the Tap Water Doctor LLC, and the Waters Lady will participate. And so, you know, I'm focusing because we have been, unfortunately plagued in our urban communities lately with issues around water. In particular, Flint has made national news, and then subsequently all of the little towns across America are coming forward saying, we too have issues and we want to be on the map and we want to receive assistance too. Talk to me a little bit about how water and food and how people need to become more involved in being socially conscious, but not just because it's something that feels good, because it can save your life and a generation. How can we now jump on board and become more involved?
Yeah, so I think
what are the low-hanging fruit, and how can we, the trajectory of becoming more involved?
So the conference, the way the conference is set up, we have a panel discussion, and the panel discussion will discuss topics or issues related to poverty, health and wellness, climate change, and food security. And then we'll have these roundtable discussions also occurring during the conference, where people will be able to come together at these different roundtables and talk about certain topics such as, you know, the water, our food system, and so much more. So I think by participating in certain talks, such as conferences, where they create the space and provide the platform for all of us to come together collectively around certain issues, we can address these issues. But the goal for this conference is to not just walk away with the issue hanging over our heads, but to present some tangible solutions to some of these problems locally. So the issue with the water is absolutely tied in with our food system, because we rely on water to grow our food. So we can't separate these common. So what people don't realize is that our social issues are so complex that it's going to take a interdisciplinary approach to create solutions, right? So we got to start breaking away, if you will, from having these single-minded talks, you know? And I don't say that in a negative way. I'm just saying that if we're just talking about, let's just say, food.
Right.
Yeah, but we can't exclude all the elements that tie into food, you know? So we got to start.
Water is huge. I read something recently that one family was using over 100 gallons a day.
Wow.
And it was crazy because between
water at that.
I'm sorry?
100 gallons a day of contaminated water.
Yeah, but this is for a family of 4, and so we're talking about cooking, showering, you know, whatever you're using water for. We take it for granted because we just turn on our faucet and we let it run as we're brushing our teeth, and we let it run as we're cooking or whatever. But 100 gallons is nothing for a family of 4, right? But they're literally using bottled water. So who can store that? Like, it's just incredible. So I think that this is a time now. I'm going to even take it a step further and saying that, without becoming political, because we are not a political organization, but we are social justice minded, an advocacy organization just like yourself, that we're very concerned about the issues in our community that plague and prevent us from having a local living economy. And water obviously is one of them. So I just read an email that you sent out. Tobias sends out all these he forwards these great emails from all of the various constituents that he has. And one of our very famous local community activists sent something out about water, Newark's failed water system. And it's not just Newark. So we're not talking, but she's concerned about Newark. And so her demands are every school's water system needs to be flushed. All water filters need to be changed. Schools need to be closed while the process is taking place. And the city provide all residents with the water letter that is mailed out. I mean, there's just this whole movement now around water, but it's been going on for years. So it's the time is now. It's an election cycle. I think the time, if every person on this blab calls one other person and gets on social media where we all have 2 or 3 or 5 or thousands of friends and just make a post claiming or asking for something for their individual communities, that local to global can spread like wildfire. So I just want to encourage people to really take this opportunity to not only encourage your neighbors and your local community partners to get on board with your individual local challenges and opportunities, but to also make sure that everyone, and I mean everyone that is eligible, is registered to vote, and then make sure that they actually go out to vote, because this is a very important year for us as it relates to sustainability issues. Talk a little bit to me about some of the topics that we're going to be talking about at the roundtable. So we have a living wage is essential to a sustainable economy, climate justice, and becoming a climate resilient community.
Right.
Art, how art transforms communities.
That's right.
Mutual aid, and then of course rebuilding the food system. Talk to me a little bit about what you hope will be the outcome of the conference. And I know I want to sort of jump in there afterwards and talk about how we're going to work together to do a white paper afterwards.
That's right. So so I've been doing this for the past 4 years now, and I realized there's an urgency for me to begin to collect this data that's being gathered from these conferences. So they're always videotaped, so we can share videos of certain parts or segments of the conference through social media, so the rest of the world can see what's going on in this part of the world. And also, what I am hoping is that each roundtable discussion at the end of their session can present kind of like an action plan. So they identified a situation, singled out some possible solutions, and then what can be the next steps to bring that into an existence. So that's what I am actually hoping to achieve.
Who do you plan to have there? Can you share with us some of the people that will be participating? Not just the organizations I named, but any particular sustainability folks that are going to be participating?
Yeah, so we have so they put me on the spot there, woman.
What?
But yeah, so we do have a host of people who are, what I'm excited about is that a lot of these people that's like either facilitating a roundtable discussion or being on the panel discussion are, they're not like, people who are sitting in the office all day in front of the computer. These are people who are on the ground, hands-on. Some of them, like for instance, Damien Daycares, who's electrical engineer, solar technician. He has several patents of solar technology and grid tie systems. He'll be there talking about how we could either partially or completely come off the grid through the use of renewable energy. So these are not a theory discussion. This is actually a person who have actually put that theory into practice and wants to share that with others,
Well, let's stay there for one moment. All I heard was off the grid. and what that means for many of us is that that's cost savings. Obviously. But now legislatively, how does that work? Because I know that obviously right now there are some roadblocks to that.
Right, that's right. So in New Jersey, there's a huge restriction on what we call net metering, where you can share your off-grid technology with others. So, for instance, if your mother has a high energy bill, she can tap into your system to reduce her electrical bill. But that's not legal in New Jersey, but in California they have net metering, right? So that's another thing that will be discussed at the roundtable discussion, sharing this information with others that's saying like this actually exists in our country, but it doesn't exist in New Jersey. And
so legislation needs to be passed or at least brought forward.
And it can start with a local ordinance.
Okay.
We can start with a local ordinance, and then we can start establishing integrated energy parks where we have solar technology or the development and training of solar technology, battery pack, wind technology, pedal bike technology, and things of that nature. And that can happen in pockets of communities where people are becoming more educated and trained in the 21st century technology.
So now tell me what that's called again so we can write that down. And if people that are participating today, they can, what is it called?
It's called NET metering.
Net metering?
Net metering. I think I just typed it in.
Okay. Yeah. And so if people are interested in net metering, can they just, obviously they can Google it.
Yes.
And find out, but is there some legislation out there that we can maybe, sort of just piggyback on and frame it for our own individual communities and start from there?
Yeah, California is legal in California, and so and these are in some, like in upstate New York, people are doing this in upstate New York as well. But in New Jersey, there's huge restrictions because that means that, your grandmother would no longer have to pay to her local provider for her energy bill. She's now a part of your network,
One of the questions that came out, and our founder, Kimberly Williams, is on the line. She's welcome to join in if she likes. There's an open seat. But one of the questions that is coming up is, will local purchasing be discussed?
That's your platform right there.
Well, I think she's saying at the conference. So of course I can.
I want people to know that the conference is free. I want to just make that clear that the conference is free. And there will be a wide range of discussions. Localism, the act of localism.
Yes, and what that means.
Will be discussed at the conference because at times it's a broad discussion, right? So what does localism mean to the person that posed the question versus what could localism look like in the community?
That's right. Localism and purchasing, meaning, for example, that if you have retail organizations or retail businesses in a particular area, for example, let's just say in the downtown area, of Newark, or the Greenville area of Jersey City, because these are the two communities coming together. What can those two communities, for example, individually and collectively purchase together to lessen their carbon footprint,
Absolutely.
right? And to, of course, create a situation where they are saving, there's a cost savings. And there are many other reasons why local purchasing is good, but that is something that we're going to be participating in the conference, and that is something that I will be pushing forward and trying to head that up in terms of letting people know what localism is and what it means to Forward Ever. It means, as I said at the top of the hour, you know, of course, infusing more money into the community and suggesting a change of mindset by purchasing locally. What does that mean, and how does that impact our local communities? So that is kind of what we're going to be talking about. The other thing that Kim wants to know is that Tobias happened to be one of our TEDx Broad Street speakers. We had TEDx Broad Street that we produced back in 2014, and Tobias said on the in his talk, he did a TED talk, which was one of the funniest ones ever. And I'm sure Michelle will post that link so you can all listen to it. But he said he needed $1 million. And so Kim's question is, did you get your money yet?
Not yet. I'm working on it still. You know, it's coming. It's coming.
So one of the things, talk a little bit about workforce and what it means to create this sort of net metering. You use net metering as sort of a catalyst to create these sustainability parks. I want to talk about innovative solutions that communities can incorporate in their city's plan to, incorporate workforce development, in particular for those, decreasing recidivism, just bringing in new kinds of opportunities in a community. It doesn't have to all happen in Silicon Valley. It can happen in our individual communities. Talk about what it would take to create something like that, one of these parks, and all the different things that could be happening, and how many people can be employed, and all that kind of stuff.
Well, so establishing or creating a integrated energy park, which is kind of similar to a mini solar farm, mini wind farm, but integrated energy park is saying, like, you're looking at different sources of energy, such as solar, wind, pedal bike technology, and also battery packs, because that's how we store it. And then also looking at aquaponics, hydroponics, aeroponics as well. So there needs to be a massive re-education process going on, right? So we have some companies that come in and establish themselves, and then they need a workforce, and then they go and say, they partner up with an organization to assist them with the workforce, and the jobs could be cashiers. And from my perspective, a cashier contributes nothing to society. We need more technologically advanced training. So what Integrated Energy Park will provide is some hands-on technical training, give people some updated skills where they can take that anywhere in the world, but with the hopes that they will utilize those skills to help build up the community where they are.
So what are the first steps? Do you need to talk with the city to get a lot donated, sponsorships from anchor institutions? I mean, we can talk about this. All the above. So, because what I said to you when we were talking about this, having this Empower Hour, one of the things I told you that is most dear to me is leaving people with aha moments and to-dos. So the one thing we want to do is to ensure people that we're not just talking to be talking, and then we're just like, oh, that was a great hour to listen. But now you have a to-do. So I listed a couple of to-dos earlier. We're about 10 minutes away from our end. A couple of our to-dos are to get to sign up with both ForwardEverNJ, follow us across social media. And again, Michelle is sharing all those links. Follow Sustain Newark across all of social media. And then to sign up and RSVP for the upcoming conference on April 23rd. The other thing you can do is to make sure that you post these kinds of things and ask other people to sign up and to understand the implications of not being involved in a movement that is inclusive around food and water. And what the implications of that is unfortunately another Flint. And we don't want that. We're, again, slowly but surely, and we know that these things are starting to come out from other small communities here in New Jersey, and I'm sure they're popping up all over the nation. So the last thing I want to say also, and then I'll open it up for questions, is that we're going to be, Forward Ever and Sustain Newark will be harvesting, we'll be using the art of hosting, which is a pedagogy methodology to host meetings. And what that basically means in layman terms is it's a very inclusive way to host meetings and to invite people to become a part of the meeting. And we're going to be using that process at the conference to host the meetings around roundtables, as Tobias said earlier. And then we're going to also harvest, and this is the language of art of hosting, harvest all the information that comes out of the meetings, out of each roundtable, and we're going to actually take that and publish a report that now can be shared with our local government. And now we can say we have actually had a conference that was attended by 100 people, and this is what these 100 people or 200 people feel as though are important things that are affecting their communities and next steps that, are asks. Are you still with me?
I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else you can think about that we talked about?
So no, I want to thank you for allowing me, thank you for this platform and allowing me to express some of the things that I'm working on. I'm always looking forward to our collaboration and working with each other and building with each other. And I just have one question that I like to leave with folks, if I can.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. So we spend most of our day thinking about money for various reasons. I mean, how to spend it, how to save it, how to hoard it, and it really bogs us down. It really holds us down. So my question to you is, and it's not meant to be answered at the moment, but something to ponder if you can, if you no longer needed money to live, if all your needs are met, you no longer need money to live, how would you live your life?
Okay. Yeah, you're trying to get cerebral on us. Okay. How would you, and what makes you ask that question? Why what's compelling to you about?
I think when we answer that question, we can find out. We can begin to look at some of the root causes of our problems. What's holding us back?
What's holding us back?
From achieving greatness.
Yeah. The other thing is, I think we talked about you inviting people to, if they have time, what do you need at SAS? But beside to move your movement forward, volunteers, sponsors, what is
sponsors,
it?
Volunteers, and also highly skilled professionals that just can assist us with the development of some of our programs and projects. lend a helping hand when they can, and just I'm just open to collaborate with people in different cities. So even though it's we are Newark Science and Sustainability, I believe there should be a science and sustainability community group in every city. So I would love to be able to collaborate with people and develop chapters in their own city. You know, so there's a Jersey City science and sustainability. You know, a Hoboken science, wherever you are. You know, let's create this movement and let it grow. You know?
Absolutely. Yeah, that would be fantastic. Just similar to what we have with Bali, and then having the assets to extend to people so that when they do start them in their individual communities, that they're not starting from scratch. They can take, you know, some examples, almost like a toolkit that you've developed, and said, these are the things that we've done. These are some of our mistakes. You know, don't do that. These are some of our opportunities. These are some of the low-hanging fruit you can begin with. So I'd like to leave. Can you give us, we have about 4 minutes. If we have any questions, I encourage people to post those before we end. But what's the low-hanging fruit, the one thing that you would encourage people to do around a sustainability mission? You ask them what would they do if they didn't need money. What's the one thing they can do right now to reduce their carbon footprint and or to support their local business? What is the one thing that you think would be a call to action to get people more involved in this in a movement of sustainability?
Yeah, come to the conference.
I heard that. Come to the conference. Yes, how many slots are available? Yeah,
so that is a really good question. So I'm really thankful for St. Peter's University for allowing us to utilize the space. It's a great collaboration. We want to max the place out, so their facility can only hold 400 people.
Okay.
Yeah, so 100 people can still attend.
So we have 100 slots.
Yep.
Left. Wow, it's filling up kind of quickly.
It is.
Yeah. So, all right. So, I'm really excited about participating. I'm really excited about facilitating the art of hosting and introducing a new way of hosting community kinds of events where everyone's voice matters, and that we can actually come out and say, yes, we all came up with these solutions. Not just we participated in this conference, but anyone who participated in this particular roundtable participated in the outcome of this roundtable. And this is our ask. Yep. And that white paper will be able to be produced collaboratively, and we can now go to our respective communities, to Mayor Baraka, to Mayor Fulop, to the mayors in the surrounding communities, and say, this is what we need, and we want net metering, and so on and so forth. So that's what I'd like to, you know, sort of end with.
Nice.
And again, encourage everyone to sign up, to follow us both across social media, and to join our movement at ForwardEver, so that we can continue to host events such as this and bring wonderful local leaders into your own homes, into your offices, over an hour once per month during the Empower Hour. So that's it. It is 11:59. We're going to end now, and this particular episode has been recorded. We can share it, post it, and we will do that over the next few days so that you can share it and encourage other people to join our individual movements and to come to the conference.
Awesome. Thank you.
Right. Thanks so much, everyone, and have a wonderful rest of your day.
You too.
Bye-bye.